whether it be a false flag alien invasion, whether we're being conned, or whether there are actually aliens out there. And perhaps more frighteningly, we're being heard or told about the Anunnaki and the chances of a return to us being enslaved by these people that will come in goodness and light, when in fact they won't at all. Now, what's your whole take on the UFO disclosure area?
Well, you know, it's a mass of information, and getting the wheat from the chaff is a challenge. But if you can take one theme, which is the theme that I've been talking about, you know, it's kind of funny when you look in that night sky on a clear night and you see thousands of stars and the Milky Way and explosion, and people go, "Do you think we're alone?" I mean, you know, what was that? So, of course, human form is not the only intelligent form of life, and well, is it the only intelligent form of life? Is it intelligent? We'll find out in the next few years, because we have plenty of evidence that it's not when it shuts down from its full magnitude of who it is. But there is, and has been widely written about for many years now, this project that has been brought to light by researchers called Project Bluebeam, which is a plan to stage a fake alien invasion to bring about a world army, world centralized government, and all the rest of it. It's possible, and the documents exist, that's for sure, but it is possible, because when you want to create a global change, you need global problems to which you can add global solutions. So we have the global war on terror, totally fake, which are based on a fake story of 9/11, an inside job done by intelligence agencies and the military, not by 19 Arab terrorists who couldn't fly Cessnas, you know. I can't fly a one-engine jet, but I'm a brilliant on wide-body ones, you know, please. Anyway, you've got the global warming, global problem, international law, global solutions, global warming caused by human-made carbon emissions, you know. I mean, you know, are you kidding? It's a joke when you look at the background. Total joke. And I've learned many things over the last 20 years of researching and traveling to 46 countries now. And one of them is, if Al Gore's involved, it's a scam. End of story, by the way. And once he became the front man for global warming, it was clearly, I've got to look at this, because this is a scam, because he's involved. And another potential global threat, global problem, of course, is some kind of threat from some non-human invasion. And, you know, Kissinger and people like that have used the phrase, you know, people will want, basically, paraphrasing, people will want people on the streets in Los Angeles, the military on the streets in Los Angeles, if they think they are being threatened from outside. And so it is possible, but if we hold on to the coordinates, where they want to take us and how they want to take us there, and look at this UFO disclosure and all this stuff from those coordinates perspective, it will give us a much clearer fix on what the game is as it unfolds than it will if we don't have the coordinates. But we've got to stop being spectators, you know? We've got to stop standing on the other side of the street, even those who are in some awareness now of the game, going, "Oh, look, that's interesting. What do you think is going to happen now? Well, I looked at this and I read that book and it said this, so I think he could do that now." Hold on a second. We're not watching a movie and watching of, "Oh, look, yes, we are in a global prison now. Yeah, they said that would happen." We've got to now cross the street and start saying, we're not having it. We're not standing for this enslavement anymore, and come together in a united way, and in a way where we forget about consequences and start doing what we know to be right. For this reason, I've said this before, but it's important. We've reached the point now where we're going to have to look our grandchildren and our children in the eye pretty soon when they ask us what we were doing when the global fascist state, which by then will control every area of their lives, including their thoughts, what we were doing when that was coming in. And there's going to be, at this time, a lot of people averting their eyes when they try to give an answer to that. We can still not have to answer that question if we stop talking about it, stop thinking we can't do anything about it, which is a great excuse not to do anything, and start to say at the end of every day, what have I done today to make a difference to human freedom, my freedom, the freedom of everyone else, and the freedom of our kids and grandkids? Because if you look at society now, and the point we've reached with this Orwellian unfolding of surveillance and control and centralization of power, what the hell is it going to be like for 10 years from now, 20 years from now, right? And we are very, very important people, our generations alive today, for this reason. We come into a world as children, and the world is as it appears to be, right? So that's the norm to you. We at the moment, Ross, are the last generations who were born at a time when there was some kind of freedom, who are going to therefore have that coordinate of what it was like compared with what it's now becoming very fast. Children being born today won't have that coordinate. No. To them, control, surveillance, imposition, centralization of power will be the norm. That's how life is here. So we are the generations that have got to do something about this. You know, and we have the power to do it. It's the will that we need.
On that very point, the whole microchip thing, we're hearing at the moment that everyone's going to be microchipped. We're all going to have this ID thing in, you know, implants in the arm or whatever. Now, you mentioned on the DVD, I've watched the whole thing, unfortunately the public viewers tonight have only seen a part of it, that we are a biological computer.
Exactly.
The worst thing that could possibly happen to a computer is somebody to put a duff chip in it.
I met a CIA scientist in 1997 who approached me through a third party because he wanted to tell me information that he couldn't get out, but he thought was vital. This guy, when I met him, joined the CIA as a scientist in his 20s. He was a genius in the area of magnetics. He thought he was serving his country. He soon realized that what we've been talking tonight was happening. So he rebelled. He refused to work for them. He wakes up one day, he goes out one day during this rebellion, and he has missing time. He wakes up on a medical type bench, and as he gets his faculties back, he realizes there's like a shampoo sachet, see-through shampoo sachet on his chest with an orangey golden liquid inside. They call them patches in the CIA. Someone's been patched. What they'd done was manipulated his body to need the drug in this patch to survive, or he starts to die. And they have to replace the patch every 72 hours. And if he doesn't come back and work for them, use his genius, the patch is not removed and he starts to die, and he's got kids and a family and he doesn't want to do that. So he talked to me to try to get this information out. And one of the things he said to me, he said, tell people that if they say no to just one thing, say no to the microchip. Because it's not just about electronic tagging, though it is about that. People, every computer knowing where you are and all the rest of it. It's also about the fact that once you have a microchip inside you, they can externally manipulate you in terms of your physical health and your mental and emotional state. They can isolate you individually, or they can do it en masse, creating hysteria or creating docility and subordinate behavior. And so that's what the microchip's really about. And this thing about ID cards, totalitarian tiptoe, it's the tiptoe to the microchip. Chipping domestic animals is to get us used to chipping. Chipping clothing now is all part of bringing this chipping in. We have to say no to the microchip. But let me say this too. The power of consciousness, open, aware consciousness, has the power to overcome any technology and any imposition. It's the body computer that is subjected to it and is manipulated by it. And so if we allow ourselves to become aware or have an identity that the body is us, our point of observation moves to the 5 sense level. We enter the realm where this stuff can control us. When we move our point of observation and we are consciousness having the experience, they cannot get to those vibrational levels. They can only manipulate the receiver transmitter. They cannot get to consciousness in its true sense